Hello, crypto pioneers. Welcome to the Thinking Crypto channel. I hope you're doing well. Please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and hit the subscribe button. Guys, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, so I appreciate your support. Bitcoin still sitting over $16,000, green across the board, looking really good here. The exact price at this time of the video is $16,299. So we are certainly expecting higher prices. We are very close to $20,000, and I think we could. It's a high probability of us hitting 20,000 before the end of the year. Now, as always, I want to keep it balanced, because we want to be cautiously optimistic, not moved by emotions. Rather, what does the data tell us? We could potentially see a big correction for Bitcoin, either at 16 or 17,000 or at 20,000. We hit that 20,000 and then crash back down to maybe 12, right? Not to panic, because we've seen moves like that from Bitcoin. High volatility, the swings that go low also take us high. So be prepared for that. Keep that in mind. You're going to have sharp corrections. I just want to make sure you guys are looking at this from a rational standpoint. Don't get too emotional. Don't get too exuberant, too happy. And likewise, don't get scared if the market corrects, right? Be in that middle ground where you're looking at the data and you're making decisions based on the trends. And of course, the trend, guys, that we've been seeing is that we are in a bull market. So if you didn't know that, welcome to the bull market. And you look at the chart here on TradingView and you see, look how Bitcoin grew over the years, guys. And in 2017, we were near that, well, we hit that $20,000 price point. That was the peak of the bull market then. Then we went into, of course, a bear market for a few years, right? And we saw some mini speculative bubbles, but you see the corrections along the way, on the way up here, right? Now we're back at 16,000. It's pretty amazing. Now, there's people who bought the $20,000 price point and, of course, got wrecked. Now, if they understood market cycles, they could have held on, right? Held on and just waited through. Hopefully they did, because they will be close to recouping their money or making some profits, as Bitcoin is looking, it's like it's going to hit $100,000 or between $80,000 to $100,000 according to the stock to flow model. This is a macro level chart. It is based on the Bitcoin halving supply and demand economics and the demand we are seeing around Bitcoin and crypto from institutional investors, as well as Bitcoin and crypto being a hedge against the inflation and money printing taking place right now. So many are calling Bitcoin gold 2.0, and gold we know is a hedge against the traditional financial markets. So very bullish outlook. And I wanted to share something here from Preston Tsai, if I'm saying his name right, his last name that is. He's the co-founder of the Investors Podcast Network. He said, when you told me Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme, you left out the part about the 4-year halving cycle and 2-week difficulty adjustment. So what is he talking about here? He's trying to educate people about how crypto works, because there's the fun out there, the notion that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, magic internet money, and folks just kind of read the headlines. So you don't really dive into it and do a research. So he kind of breaks it down here, talking about it. So you've probably heard your professor, a resident expert economist, tell you that Bitcoin is a scam. Well, guess what? It's not. Everyone keeps claiming it's dead, but here we are. It keeps coming back with a vengeance. That is the fact, Jack, right? People call Bitcoin dead at $10, $20, all the way up. They keep calling it dead because of the high volatility, right? So how is this happening? Easy. The code is designed to slowly gain entrenchment into the existing financial rails and eventually take over a global reserve settle money. If it happens too quickly or linearly, governments would attempt to shut it down. But if it happens slow enough and volatile enough, deep entrenchment. So it's a slow, steady growth across the years, right? So long bear markets after even bull run ups. So deep entrenchment is possible. And guess what? That's where we are today. Banks like Fidelity are recommending 5% portfolio allocation into Bitcoin, and an entire legal framework is being stood up to handle its ownership worldwide. So, guys, I'm in big agreement with this, and I'm going to give you some more details. So how did this slow roll Trojan horse Bitcoin protocol perform this feat? enter the 4-year halving cycle. You see, every 4 years, the protocol tightens the issuance of new coins. In fact, it gets twice as tight every 4 years. To put this into context, think about gold mining operations where every mining company in the world starts finding half as much gold, but it only happens every 4 years. What impact would that have on the price? That's right, the sell side would get exhausted and the price would go up. So if this is happening every 4 years, we should be able to see that in the price chart, right? Well, yeah, you can. Here's an example. The last all-time high was on the 11th of December 2017, and the previous all-time high was 1,477 days prior. Or in other words, the 4.04 years prior. Not only is the 4-year halving cycle quite interesting for keeping the protocol governed for a certain speed of adoption, but it also has a 2-week difficulty adjustment. Going back to our gold example, let's use that so we can understand how the 2-week difficulty adjustment works. If everything knows the supply is going to get tighter and tighter every 4 years, the miners would hire more workers to front run the future margins. In the short term, this would cause an increased amount of supply, more selling and sluggish prices. But what if the earth somehow found a way to make the amount of gold being mined more difficult to find relative to the number of people showing up at work each day? What would that mean? In this situation, it's akin to a god enforcing a fixed rate of supply per day, regardless of how many workers show up to the job. So if 10 people show up at the mine, it's no different than 1 million people showing up at the mine. They'd still find the same amount of gold every day. This is how Bitcoin works. The difficulty adjustment ensures that only so much flow can be dropped into the markets every day. What that means for the price is interesting because it helps calm the urge to front run the future halving events. I love it. He breaks it down very well factually here, logically. And I hope you guys understand the supply and demand economics and the economics that are built into the Bitcoin algorithm with the halving, right? Less Bitcoin being put out into the wild. Right now, we don't have decoupling from Bitcoin, so the altcoins generally follow Bitcoin's move, right? The majority of the time. You have alt season, of course, and I'm excited to see what Ethereum and XRP do in the next parabolic run-up, as well as Chainlink. Ethereum, obviously, proof of stake. A lot of ETH is going to be locked up. That's good for its price. Ripple is buying a lot of XRP off the open market to get into your new ODL lending program. That's going to help the price because there's going to be less XRP in circulation, so to speak. So I'm excited to see the prices, guys. And I did some prediction videos where I talked about Bitcoin at 80,000, Ethereum at $5,700, XRP at $15. If we use the respective percentages that these coins or digital assets pumped, in relation to Bitcoin in 2017. Now, is past performance an indicator of future performance? No, but using the percentages, we looked at what that might look like, right? And going in conservative. So I'll put a link to that video in the description for you guys to check it out. It's just basic math, but look, guys, I don't think anybody expected $20,000 in 2017, and Bitcoin has a way of surprising people, the crypto market, right? I love what CZ, Binance's CEO, said. A few comments on my post yesterday saying they were shorting. Well, hope they have fun getting wrecked. Mostly, though, I think they were just trying to get others to sell so they can buy on the cheap. Don't fall for it, not financial advice. So he's talking about people trying to short Bitcoin, even though we're in a bull market. So you're going to get wrecked if you try to do that. Now is not the time to do it, right? Given the cycle that we're in right now. Now, of course, you guys know I've interviewed CZ a few times. Great guy. You can learn so much from these interviews. Be sure to check them out. Bullish news, guys. 200 million to go. Tweets Barry Silbert about Grayscale's assets under management. They're at $9.8 billion. 200 million away from $10 billion of crypto assets under management. Man, look how far they've come. And they are dealing with institutional players. So they're seeing demand. In fact, Michael Sonnenschein, who's the managing director of Grayscale, said the Grayscale team raked in over $115 million in Bitcoin alone yesterday. Wow. Guys, The money is coming in. I will say it in almost every video. Count yourself lucky you're here early. We are on the side of smart money, buying the lows, and we're going to sell the highs. Here's a chart from ecoinometrics, if I'm saying that right. It's an interesting outline here, just looking at the days past the halving and what could be some ideal scenario prices if you use previous bull market models. Like, for example, it's saying that, if we use like the 2012 model, right, Bitcoin could be at $41,000 by December 31st. April 18th, it could be $100,000. April 18, 2021, by the way. May 12, 2021, $387,000. As always, I will keep it real with you guys because I don't want to BS you and hype you up. Is this a high probability of happening? No. Is there a probability of it happening? Sure. That would be the most ideal scenario. I think a lot of things will have to line up for this to actually happen. But I would go more conservative, right? Like I just said, like at the beginning of the video, we could end the year at like 20,000, not 41,000. Hey, if 41,000 happens at the end of the year, oh man, I'm going to be happy, right? If $100,000 happens by April of next year, oh man, I'm going to be having a jubilee. I'm going to have a party, guys. So I'm going to be cashing out some. I think you all know my plans. I'm here to make money. I want to pay off my mortgage. I think I mentioned I want to buy like a Tesla or something, right? So make no mistake about it. I want higher prices, but I also want to be realistic. I don't want to be looking at these charts and like, oh yeah, it's going to be $100,000 in April. No. If that happens, yes. But we can't say it for, as a certainty. But nevertheless, the possibilities are pretty exciting, right? Very interesting. And like I said, past performance, not a true indicator of the future performance, but we can use it as a guide and to kind of get an idea of how things may go. Now, I always like to point you guys to the crypto market infrastructure, the acquisitions, the mergers, the expansions, the poaching, the hiring, right? These are indications of a healthy, maturing market. And Mike Novogratz, billionaire, guy made his money on Wall Street, heavily involved in crypto and Bitcoin and all that now, and he owns Galaxy Digital. Well, they've made an acquisition here, guys. Galaxy Digital doubles down on crypto trading business, acquires DrawBridge Lending and Blue Fire Capital. So this is really good. Let's see here. The transactions are a significant step forward for the industry and for Galaxy, a leading digital assets merchant bank. So these guys are all expanding, setting up shop, putting their stake in the ground. Everybody's trying to get the slice of the pie here, and first mover advantage, right? You get in, you grab as much of the market share as possible, and they will make money. And that's why I tell you guys to be patient. These are the things that are unfolding and happening behind the scenes. They're not making major headlines on CNBC or Fox or whatever it may be, but they're happening. And the flip side of the coin is the governments are also on board with the digital economy, and crypto is going to be a big part of that. And we saw here, this article talks about it. From PayPal to Libra, big tech has forced central banks to wake up to CBDC, says Benoit Couillard, if I'm saying that right. He's at the Bank of International Settlements. So the IMF, the Bank of International Settlements, the World Bank, all these folks are talking to the central banks and governments around the world to get their CBDCs ready. This all started from the disruption that Bitcoin caused. But when they saw that companies, private companies like Facebook, or I should say public companies like Facebook and different associations and so forth can create a token, and they have a massive community behind them and massive reach, central banks were like, that was a red flag. Like, oh no, they're going to take control of our money that we control. Yeah, right? So this is the future, folks. This is the future. Token economy, digital economy, 24-hour trading, tokenized securities, digital assets, cryptos, all part of the digital economy. And it's going to be borderless 24/7 trading. So exciting times. Guys, what do you think? You think Bitcoin could hit $20,000 by the end of December? You look at this ecoinometrics chart here. I think $41,000 is not very likely, but man, I would be happy if we hit 20 or cross over $20,000 and head into the new year, because I think that will make us by end of Q1, maybe we see a $30,000 Bitcoin by the end of Q1, right? And remember my interview with Dan Moorhead at Panthera Capital. He said he's expecting $115,000 by August. So if you haven't seen that interview, definitely check it out. So look, we'll see who's right? But I think we can all anticipate higher prices. But I would love to see $100,000 Bitcoin. I think that will make me very happy. My wife will be very happy. My bank account will look very good. So guys, leave your thoughts and comments below. Share this video, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you all later.